Yo. Podcast episode 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes,
3.
it is. Episode 3. You know what I mean? So yeah, we gonna get it popping with the Saturday night fights first. You know what I mean? Well, main event.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Tank Davis. You know what I mean? He won that right there. Up 3 knockdowns, huh? And they stopped it.
Yeah, it stopped in the third round actually, which you told me about Davis, and I never seen Davis fight before, and you told me that last time he fought was during the McGregor Mayweather fight, and
yeah, undercard.
Yeah, and I didn't see the undercard fight. I only saw the main event, which was the McGregor and Mayweather. And watching Davis fight.
That fight.
What?
Speaking of that fight, what did you think about that McGregor and Floyd fight? You know what I mean?
McGregor and Floyd, they, in my opinion, they really promoted that fight really good. I mean, they're both two businessmen. I expressed to you my opinions about Mayweather. He's not my, favorite fighter of all time. But I respect the man on how he trains, even though he's flashy as. I'll put that in there. Sorry for the cursing. But that's how I feel about him. But I think that Mayweather is a good businessman. You get him training, he can be in there, and he's all business. McGregor, I think he did his thing. Also, he likes to talk a lot, and it just made it for entertaining promotion on both sides. As far as the fight goes on it, I feel like a lot of people are like, how would it be for a MMA fighter to go in the world of boxing? The thing about it is that McGregor is an MMA fighter, and they train for what, as much as 5 rounds, and so
yeah,
McGregor, he's only used to always training for 5 rounds. If you're a boxer, you have to have a lot of more endurance in when you go for 15 rounds. And as much as like how many fights that Mayweather has been in, like each time he's training for 15 rounds. And he's got more endurance. And McGregor, he was getting his punches in, and I think it got to a point to where, in my opinion, when I watched the fight, I feel like Mayweather kind of treated him like how Ali treated Foreman. Kind of just let him do his thing, just let him, get his punches in and just tire himself out. And it was to the point to where Mayweather was all like, all right, well, it's time to end the fight. That's how I felt about that whole thing. And Mayweather is who he is. He, from you say he's the greatest fighter of all time. Arguably, he could be the greatest fighter of all time. But, it made a lot of money. It got a lot of people interested in it. They did really good at promoting the fight. And so, good on them, because it brought in a lot of people looking at boxing in a different way.
It brought the best of both worlds with the MMA and the boxing. You know what I mean? Because the people were saying, allegedly, that boxing was kind of falling off, even though we got our Deontay Wilder's, was in, you know what I mean? Our Tank Davis's and body, you know what I mean? But as far as that fight goes, for me, hold on. First and foremost, we got to kudos to Floyd. You know what I mean? Defense, probably like the greatest defense of all time. And that's what people don't study that. They don't get that about Floyd. They say that all his fights are boring and this and that is lackluster, whoop the bam. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? You rather be hit most of the defending and countering. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like point blank period. They need to look at some of Floyd's, well, against all the people that they said it was going to beat him. Canelo, Pacquiao, they couldn't touch the man. You feel me? Guerrero, they couldn't touch him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Look at that man's defense. You know what I mean? He prided himself on his defense. And let alone he has good offense also to win them fights. You know what I mean? Even if he's doing pop shots, he wins those fights. So y'all got to salute that man and give him his just due. You know what I mean? Like every fighter, Ghost and everybody, even had, and they made excuses for, you know what I mean, on his behalf. Oh, this and that. He was too old, or he was out of his prime. And with Pacquiao, his shoulder was hurt. His shoulder wasn't hurt when he raised his hand up when he thought he won that fight. You know what I mean? dude. You know what I mean? And it's kind of crazy because after these people fight Floyd, they look like totally different fighters to me during their next fights. You know what I mean? After that, you know what I mean? But this fight that Conor McGregor and Floyd, I say, I studied this boxing stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And me looking at it and hit me as much as he wanted to. Let me feel that power because you see, Floyd did no defense in that fight, and so it's new to the MMA fans that don't look at boxing.
Let me.
Oh, this how they
Yeah,
get down?
let me
You know
let
what I
me
mean?
add
And
in.
it's not.
Let me add in on that one, as you said that he was trying to get the feeling of the power of Conor McGregor. Even during that fight, a lot of the announcers also that I remember from, because that was way back in August, and I still remember the announcers all saying like, why is Mayweather not defending? Why is he not protecting himself? Why is he taking these punches from McGregor? And you brought that, that's a good point that you brought up, that he's trying to feel the power, feel out McGregor, how he fights and how he punches.
Mm-hmm. Actual factual. He felt that power, and it wasn't nothing because he got a couple good hits in. Once you look at it in slow mo and stuff, he got a few good hits in, but it didn't budge Floyd at all. You know what I mean? And that fight, you know what I mean? Let these people get their money's worth, and let me end it before the 12th. You feel me?
Right.
And people, well, they make them excuses, right? Oh, well, they stopped the fight too early. Well, that man wasn't protecting himself at all, let alone throwing punches. You feel me? Against a professional who's been doing this since he was a youngin'.
No, in my opinion, it was protection against McGregor, because he at that point he was tired.
Yeah, he was taking it.
Yeah.
He was taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they let that go on, boy, your brain would have been totally messed up. It's probably already messed up now because you're doing dumb stuff right now, throwing chairs at 12 buses and move up the band.
True.
You feel me?
True.
But besides that, man, kudos to Floyd Mayweather. And we're going to jump back into the
All right.
Tank Davis versus, what was his name? Whatever. But Tank was,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that now because he's saying stuff about Leonard Ellaby and the money team and wipe the band, but you know what I mean? You could continue on that one because you've seen the Tank fight.
No,
I just seen
the Davis fight. It was really good. He overpowered. He just overpowered the fight mostly. What I was impressed with is that he's a southpaw. Both fighters were southpaws. I think I really like watching southpaw fighters. A lot of regular stance fighters don't like going against southpaw fighters because it's a little bit more tricky to go against southpaw fighters. But Davis, the way he fights, just the way his stance is, the way he throws his punches. Like, I was very impressed with his right cross. Very impressed with his right cross, and especially like I like seeing if someone can throw a very good uppercut. Especially when you're it's the close fight game, when you guys are all close, and if you can throw a very good uppercut, then that could be a game changer anywhere. And the way his stance with the uppercut, the way he throws it, the way he executed, the speed of it. I mean, it's one of the best uppercuts that I've seen in boxing lately. And
he shot too, brother.
He's also he's got a lot of speed in his punches as well. Like that in my opinion, that was just a one-sided fight. It ended in the third round, and I'm very impressed, and I would like to watch another Davis fight. And I might have to backtrack and go watch that undercard fight that he had back in August.
You should check out like Earl Spence. You probably watched Keith Thurman and them. Like, check these brothers out too. But Errol Spence, I don't know, him and similar, but they go for the body a lot, and that's like what people usually don't do now. I think like I heard that Tank in that fight, I forget which knockdown it was. One of them was a body shot to Buddy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And like, he prides himself on going to the body on people. So is Earl Spence Jr. You know what I mean? But boxing is in full effect, baby. You know what I mean? So I'm really just waiting on the mega fight of the heavyweights, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. You feel me?
Right.
Tell you my prediction yet, because I'm usually always right, but you know what I mean? But
this
who's after that fight, was that the Adrien Broner?
No. After that fight, it was Jamal Charlo versus Hugo Centeno Jr. That one ended in the second round, and that one was where Charlo won, and watching this fighter as well, it just seemed like I don't know, I really don't really like seeing like over, what do you call it? What would you say, like where they kind of act a little cocky about it in a way. I got that same thing from just that same feeling from Charlo, just the way he was acting and whatnot, and just like overconfident in a lot of things, and he did good. It was a fast fight. I didn't really pay much more attention to it than I did with the Davis fight, but it ended early. And after that one, it was the Alvarez and what do you call it, the Broner fight. And that one,
Vargas.
Yeah, Vargas. What did I say? I'm a little out of sorts.
Hey, I apologize to the fans too, because I was out with the kids and I got back. I caught some of the main event. But I guess I would have made the main event if every fight didn't end too early. If they would have went at least 10 rounds, I would have made it.
Right.
But my brother, he kept me up to date. My brother Red kept me up to date. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. you were trying to get back real fast.
Didn't even live stream it either, brother.
No. As a correction, Vargas versus Broner. I don't know where I got Alvarez from, but yeah, so this one, we had our opinions about this one. I said that Vargas was going to win this fight, in my opinion, and you had who'd you have? If I could,
I had Vargas winning.
Yeah, you had Vargas. Okay, so Adrien Broner. All right, let's. I told you this. What was it? Saturday, when I said that Adrien Broner reminds me of like a carbon copy of Mayweather in a way. He has the flashiness, and he tries to so hard to just like throw himself out there and be so cocky and throw his money around and just be so flashy. But I don't think he has the I don't think he trains as how Mayweather does, and I don't think he has the ring discipline as Mayweather does. When it gets into the ring, even in his walkout, he was dancing and just having a good time and just smiling all over the place. And even when they were doing the because Vargas, I'm more of the traditional, like how a fighter should look like, with the traditional trunks, just having the traditional walkout, just tradition, in my opinion, is how I always looked at boxing. And that's how Vargas looked like. Broner, on the other hand, he was in the corner while they were doing the introductions.
Yeah,
he was getting his waves brushed, making sure his hair was right, and he was cocky. And I think I would have to say that the first 5 rounds would have gone to Vargas. In a lot of aspect, Broner in this fight, in the first 5 rounds, was just making a lot of faces, saying a lot of stuff to Vargas. I think it was that type of thing to where he was trying to get under the skin of Vargas. And you could tell there was times where it got under the skin of Vargas, because once it was in the first and second round, Vargas was cool-headed. He was cool, calm, collected. He was boxing like he would normally do. But I think the more that Broner started saying a lot more stuff to Vargas, I think that kind of just got under the skin of him, and you could tell a little bit of frustration was in his face. And I think Broner was like that for the first 5 rounds. I would give Vargas the first 5, maybe the first 6. I think after that, after the first 6 rounds, I think Broner realized that this was a fight. This was an actual fight. That he wasn't going to coast through this, and I think he finally started throwing punches. He started doing a lot more in the 7th round. And you, at this point, this is when you started watching.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree with you on that because I think I watched it the 6th round, maybe 7th round on, right? And to me, it seemed like just during the fight, like Adrien Broner was picking up because I was listening to the announcer saying that he was lackluster them first few rounds. Like some fighters, even fighters like Floyd, they gotta get their footing first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes they come out aggressive, but man, they get their footing in first, and that's when they steal them last rounds or the last few minutes of them rounds. You know what I mean? But it was like for the 8th round, I had Vargas because he threw a lot of shots like 20 some seconds before the bell. They was just throwing dukes and he was catching them.
Yeah.
On something. And he got that warning from the referee when he popped Broner at the end of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the ref was I think it was just the heat of the moment. And
yeah.
I think the ref was getting on him about it. He's like, I didn't, I genuinely, I think he just didn't realize that the bell rang. In my opinion,
you just boxing then. You feel me? But I did. I typed this in my phone. Actually, I gave Broner the 6th and the 7th.
Right. Okay.
And off that tip right there, I thought Broner in the 6th and 7th, he was doing a lot more. Probably wasn't landing as much, but more busier to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, regardless, like Vargas was throwing shots also, but it was. I mean, he was the busiest fighter. You feel me? Like anybody who's busier than a other fighter usually get that round. You know what I mean?
Both of these guys were throwing shots at each other's head that was connecting really good. A lot of good heavy shots, and I have to give it up for both of them because they both have an iron chin. I mean, anybody else that would get hit like that. I mean, I said this also that I feel like that Broner wasn't didn't have the same speed as Vargas, in my opinion. I feel like there was times where he was trying to look for that knockout punch, that heavy knockout punch. At times. Yeah. But I think there was times where he realized that he has to throw more combinations. He wasn't throwing as many punches. I mean, if I could see how many, I think okay, so Vargas threw at the end of the fight. Vargas threw 332 more punches than Broner did at the end of the fight. And
snap.
Yeah, and so he still had a lot of speed, but you could tell Vargas in maybe 10 and 11. I feel like that. I even mentioned that to you that at 10 and 11 he was getting tired. You can tell. Yeah, so you were telling me that I think on 10 and 11 you were telling me that Broner looked like he had those 2 rounds, and it just came down. Yeah, and it just came down to the 12th round, and I feel like that they were both even on the 12th round. Like they were, it's the last round. What are you gonna do? Still coast through it, or are you gonna try your hardest to knock somebody out? And
you called it too, brother. You called it before they even announced it. You like, you think it's gonna be a draw because it was too even. And
yeah, because like I said, that Vargas I feel like he had half the fights or half the rounds in that fight, and I feel like that Broner came back and he had the other half, and then it could have went either way. Even then, at the end of it, it doesn't matter if Broner was acting all cocky or overly confident. It was a good fight at the end of it, and the decision came down to a draw. and that made even an even more interesting post fight interview between the two, which when they got into it.
Yeah.
So
I believe they should do that fight again sometime this year. Like, don't hold back if you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't know when they maybe in like September or something like that. You feel me? If it's a big card coming up for that, I believe they should definitely have that rematch then. You know what I mean?
But
'Cause
you know Vargas knows now the caliber of how Broner is, and if they have a rematch, you know he's going to be looking at tape. He knows how Broner, how his stance is, how he throws punches. So you know he's going to be ready next fight that they have.
switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he was like it seemed like a little probably like a year and a half ago. It was like he was like that next Floyd Mayweather. You feel me? When Floyd retired, you know what I mean? Like he could do it. That's before he had that the losing streaks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Started losing fights. I think he went up a weight class.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching him fight. You know what I mean? Then I really enjoy watching him fight. Like now I watch his fights now, but it's like it's not the same Broner. Maybe because he went up a weight class or just too much to me. Too much social media and beefing. The boxing thing, and you know what I mean, not focusing too much on fighting, and you feel me, the whole club thing, which is cool, but you ain't got to advertise it every time. You know what I mean?
It's
like
the money.
You a fighter, you get paid for this.
It's the money, the lights, the fame, the women. I think a lot of that just gets to him, and he feels like he's on top of the world. But
which he is right now. But that you can't box forever, brother. You feel me?
No, if you don't know what you're doing in boxing, and it's done this to a lot of fighters, and a good example is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had all the talent in boxing back in the late 80s, and he had the power. I mean, he was knocking everybody out. I feel like when Don King came into the scene and he dropped his original training camp, I think that's where it all went down for him, because his original training camp was the one that kept his head on straight. They're the one that was keeping him just going down the right path. And I think a lot of things like Don King, we all know how he is with fighters, and that it's. I think Mike Tyson could have been one of the best boxers in the world if he would have kept doing what he was doing instead of just falling into the whole money, women, and all that fame and whatnot.
Go up the band. Yeah. Oh no, you know what I mean? It's tough to be on any type level like that. You know what I mean? I not to deal with that type stuff. You feel me? Already, you feel me? Like some people that's already they know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're different type of thinkers. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I mean? Like especially for these boxers, like y'all don't got forever. You feel me? Bread and do this and that. Like it seems like some fighters just fighting for the bag now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just fighting for the money. They don't care if they win or lose. We'll off the band. They just fighting for the money. You know what I mean? And that's not a good look. You feel me? Especially if you was once a person they was talking about. You know what I mean? Like you could be the next this and that. Then you start falling off, and you feel me? We see you more on social media doing goofy stuff. You feel me? Like facts, G. Like that ain't cool right there to me. You know what I mean? Like.
I think a lot of it has to do with like not just the social media stuff, but I feel like boxing promotions now they look for flashiness because it would draw money. They're like, hey, let's have the antics of what this guy's doing over here, and it'll draw money over here. But I think there's a lot of underrated fighters that just want to fight, that just want to box, and they get put on the undercard or they get put on like the lower card of the main card. But a lot of it is how we're going to promote this fight, and we're going to get somebody that can be wild and be crazy, and just that they'll promote this fight for us. That's how I feel about it.
Like a boxer like Adrien Broner, that's the perfect one, the perfect person to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Realistically, you know what I mean? But that should only to me, that should only be during, like you said, during the promotional time, or when you know you have a big fight coming up. To do that, right? This man, you know what I mean? Sometimes this man does it all year round.
Yeah.
Like beefing with, who was that rapper dude with the rainbow hair? The Tsashi dude from off the band. I'm like, y'all crazy, man. You know what I mean? Like on that, especially you had a fight coming up. You feel me? You got a fight versus Vargas, and you beefing with a rapper and all this type stuff. You feel me? Like, dude, like,
let's be, let's
gotta keep your head straight.
Let's be real. Let's not categorize him as a rapper. A lot of guys that I would not categorize as a rapper.
Well, you know what I mean? People know what I'm talking about. You know, they know who it is, man. We may have to wrap this up in a little bit. But dude, before we do that, brother, did you want to plug anything again? You know what I mean?
Just the YouTube channel again. I mean, where all these podcasts are going on. Yeah, just we're, like we said, we're gonna do more of these, more sports stuff. Like we covered the boxing. We covered we did an update on the NBA playoffs. I would just say that to like and subscribe to the channel as well. Like this video. Because there's gonna be a lot more that's gonna be put on.
Okay. And subscribe y'all to the channel also. And if it's any comments or suggestions or topics y'all want us to touch on, sure, you know what I mean? Comment and let us know and subscribe. And again, the site is the bnaworld.com. Music on there, you know what I mean? All the artists' music on there. And you know what I mean? Even me and Ray, we got some stuff on there. You feel me? So you know what I mean? Check that out. And also the Twitter, Real K9. You feel me? THA, Real K9. You know what I mean? So it'll follow on that. We'll up the bam. And right here. That about it for me, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like I said, like, subscribe, and we'll just come back with the next one, which will probably be in a couple days then.
And it'll be dope. So you know what I mean? So we out of here, you know what I mean, with the 9 Red podcast, the sports podcast, and you know what I mean? I got to find another outro and stuff, but I'm just talking right now. We'll get it though. We'll see y'all and talk to y'all next time. So, you know what I mean? Comment and subscribe. How was popping on her, you know what I mean? All right.